The new signing sounds such an interesting player. What do you make of it?
Well, firstly, we're obviously disappointed not to have Shadab back, who was brilliant for us and someone we really enjoyed having around. But if we couldn't get him, then obvious replacement was Majib. And I think going around the world T20 circuit, everyone's seen how well he's performed, even on the international scene. And I think mainly his performances in the IPL this year were the reason we really want to push for him. It's probably the first time he's been on the biggest stage, and he was exceptional. And I think coming to a place like the Gabba, to be able to bowl on a wicket like that and replicate the likes of Badri and Shadab and Yasser last year, we needed a guy who could stand up to that pressure. And I think from what I saw in the IPL, I definitely know he can do that.
You're amazed the way the game's going. Is a young 17-year-old bowling, sort of googlies and also, carrom balls, like different sides of the hands. It's extraordinary, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and in a lot of ways, I think because he bowls those variation, his off spinner is one of his most dangerous balls. He actually spins it hard, and he gets a lot of revolutions on it. And I don't think a lot of batsmen are looking for it. They're trying to watch his hand, looking for that carrom ball and the googly, as you say. So that ability to have three genuine variations allows him to keep a lot of batsmen on edge. And I think also the pace that he bowls all three of them as well. He's pretty quick through the air, and he's able to turn all three variations at a decent pace. So that's what makes him so formidable.
Do you think he's a freak, or will we see more of that sort of bowler? Like, if you had to learn the game again, would you sort of go down that path?
Well, I think you saw Jonathan Mendes a few years ago, and the way he took the game by storm. I mean, his first couple of years in international cricket were incredible with those three similar variations. He didn't stick because I think guys started to pick up on them, but I think the main thing with Majib is that pace that he's able to bring it through with. And I think his style of bowling, maybe not exactly the same as him, but I think a lot of guys are looking at that, whether they grew up conventionally bowling spin, but how they can incorporate some of those variations into their own game.
So when did you first hear about Majib and what he can do with the ball?
It was a while ago. I'm trying to think what the first tournament I saw him in was, where he was so successful. I think it might have been, actually it was the Bangladesh Premier League, and I think some players were starting to talk about him, the multiple variations that he had. So I think everywhere he's gone, he's tasted some form of success, and as I said before, doing it in international cricket and doing it in the IPL obviously is the highest standard, so that's where we got a real comfort that he could come to the Big Bash and perform as well.
A young player who's coming from Afghanistan and played a lot overseas internationally, do you think he'll fit in fairly well? Is it going to be a bit of a challenge for him here in Australia, do you think, this time around? Or
I think he will. I think guys are so used to going from team to team to team and understanding the requirements, understanding the pressures. They're really good at it, and I think the Afghani guys are getting so much exposure around the world, and then likes of Nabi and Rashid Khan who have come here and done so well. I think we'll see that more and more often. So I don't think there's any concern around guys coming here and trying to perform.
Just on Marnus Labuschagne over in the Test series, he obviously had a bit of a tough first initiation into international cricket, but do you think he can maybe bring some of those tough lessons back to the heat?
Look, I think Marnus is the sort of guy who's been performing for a long time, whether it's Queensland and there's a few opportunities with Brisbane. I think anyone who's exposed to international cricket learns from it and learns pretty quickly, and Marnus is the sort of guy that's going to take it all on board and try and get better, and I think that's been his real strength in the amount of time that he's been around here, is that every opportunity he takes to get better, he's trying to do it. And I think you mainly see that with his leg spin, how much it's been improving to the point where he can be a viable all-round option.
on that, you've got Brendan Doggett as well over there. Are you excited to see these young blokes that you've worked with getting an opportunity at the national level?
I think so, just from that fact of, you learn so much from being in that environment. You learn so much from seeing other international players and how they go about it, and you learn from the pressure that you put under. So all those guys who are getting that opportunity are only going to come back better players.
It's interesting, you think Marnus, because his leg spin's, I guess, seen as part-time at the moment, but you can sort of lift it up to be a genuine all-round force.
I think so, and I think more than anyone he's learnt from Badri, Shadab Khan and Yasser when they've been here over the last few years and seen how they bowl and how he can replicate it. And I think the pace that he's bowling his leg spin at is directly related to what he's seen over the last couple of years. So he's improving more and more, and to bowl as well as he did in the Test match means that he's able to do it in pressure situations, and that's the Big Bash.
What's that, quicker, is it? Or?
Quicker, yeah. Like I said, I think he's learnt so much from those three leg spinners and how quick they bowled and how effective they can be with that pace, and he's tried to replicate it, and it's getting better and better.
What about his batting style suited to Tests? Is there anything you see that sort of could be improved or that could work for him at all?
Look, I think for Marnus it's just more and more experiences. I think, like I said before, every stage of cricket that he's been at, he's improved, he's learned, he's got better, and just that exposure in one test match, and obviously in the next one, he's going to learn so much. So he's a quick learner, and I think from that comes a real a desire to get better, and also a performance as well.
Just on leg spinners, Mitch Swepson obviously has had a chance to be a part of the spinning groups in the last couple of games. Is it good for him as well? Do you think this will be something, having Mujeeb alongside him will sort of maybe benefit him too in the
Well,
of the BBL?
I think it's been our style over the last few years. We want to get as many spinners into the game as possible. I think it's worked for us at the Gabba. Bowling fast at the Gabba is incredibly tough, and we've set Mitch up in a role that he's done so well, and we've had complementary pieces in the overseas players, the overseas spinners. So we expect a similar sort of role from Mujeeb, and that allows Mitch to stay in the role that he's done so well for us.
One other quick one while talking about Heat players overseas. Matt Renshaw, obviously a bloke who spent his time in the Heat last year very profitably, getting, I guess, confidence in playing, getting himself into a groove, I guess, and kicked on from there. With him, what do you sort of see his sort of immediate sort of thing going with him? Is it just to knuckle down and get ready for the next opportunity?
I think out of anyone last year, he impressed the most with his attitude and his ability to learn. I think the player he was at the start of the BBL campaign to knocking on the door for selection and then making the team for the last game showed how hard he worked on it, and gone away to Somerset and done the same sort of thing, albeit in a different role. I think that his ability to bat anywhere in the top five makes him a real chance of playing, because if you look at our top 3 or 4, they're pretty set with our stroke makers, but someone who can come in that 5 or 6 role and adapt to situations is pretty impressive. Being a test match opener, but still being able to fulfil that role. And I think he's, like Marnus, he's a quick learner, and he's really improved everywhere he's gone.
Would you have him in the test team? You think he's some talk he might be back into the second test?
Well, look, I can only go on what I've seen here, and he's been really impressive in every facet. And I think he's an all-round cricketer as well. He's a handy bowler. He's a very good slip fielder, and he's got runs at test match level.
Just back on Mujeeb, mate, I read he taught himself how to bowl by watching videos on the internet. So how do you compare that to someone like yourself coming up?
I did the same thing. Look, I think the main thing is about that naturalness, and I think you see that more and more coming from players from Afghan, where they wouldn't be coached in that manner. It's just a real innate, organic style, and I think that makes for an exciting cricketer. I think those guys you've seen around the world, whether it's someone like Murali or Waka Yunus, those guys have come from nothing and made something of themselves purely from what they envisage as being a good cricketer, normally translates pretty well. And I think we'll see the best of Mujeeb, and he'll be able to handle all the conditions that are presented to him in the BBL.
And finally, Brendan McCullum, I guess, is batting well, getting some runs in various tournaments around the place, and keen to see what he's got to offer this time around.
Yeah, he's everywhere. I think the best thing for us is that he's had so much game time. I think last couple of seasons he's either been battling injury or he hasn't had the preparation that he probably wanted. But this time around, it's been exceptional for him how much cricket he's been able to play. He's still got T10 tournament coming up as well. So I think by the time he gets here, he's going to be ready to go.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.